Hello people, it's time for a bit of an update before the excitement happens. So yeah, you've seen all this in the last one, so that this is all set up ready to go. We're just waiting now. Put the water on. That's the water feeder for this tank. I'm more into test tube water feeders. If you look at the amount of cotton in that one, there's not very much cotton, so the water will travel down that tube very quickly compared to a normal test tube setup. So there's been a few ups and downs basically. So at the back here, there used to be the Parius. Well, the Parius is still there. And the Parius has actually got brood. I've taken all this out and had a good check at the weekend. The Parius has got brood and is appreciating the high temperatures. The Turkestanus that was there was dead and might have been dead for a good week. That's now the Cruentatus. You see the heat mat is under just one tube. The other two tubes are back wet and cold. The Cruentatus did have brood last time I looked, when she was over here. She was there. That's now an empty Venus because the Turkestanus died. But I had all that heating issues. It's nearly killed off my Nicos, but didn't. And I thought that the Cruentatus had survived quite happily, but they hadn't. All the brood was gone when I looked at the weekend. So I've put them into the quiet corner at the back there. So a quiet corner for the Cruentatus at the back there. They've had some springtails and stuff like that, but I'm just leaving them in the quiet corner. The Parius is doing quite nicely there. She likes the temperature, it's obvious. I can't film it right now, but there's a pile of brood. You know, it looked like not just 2 or 3 eggs, a few. Okay, that's... So, these are the Tetramorium. I'll try and show you. Don't know how this is going to come out, but yeah, we've got a lot of brood, it seems to me. How's that looking? They're quite happy, but they've not... I experimented by putting lots of... I can take this off actually, it's quite easy to take this off. I experimented with lots of springtails and then they just completely went off their protein until they cleared out all these springtails. I don't think there's any left now. There might be some babies just in the corner there behind that black bit of charcoal. This is the new substrate. This is shrimp. It's ceramic aquarium gravel, and it's the shrimp one. It's made of shrimps. It's very small, but they do stand out against this. They're not standing out at the moment because there's none of them there. And you see there's loads of fruit flies wandering around. I've literally got thousands and thousands and thousands of fruit flies for this. Thousands of fruit flies and nothing to eat them. I mean, they do eat them, because I fed them 2 days ago and there's only like 5 left, and I put about 20 in. They are eating them, but I never see them catch them. And as we know, this is all set up ready. Cork nest, mini outworld, that's going to be a test tube. This is going to be a feeding box. It's quite easy to unclip. Yeah, so that's going to be for the Formica rufibarbis. And they're a sort of brownish, reddish ant, so they should stick out really well with that black. A new development you might not have seen, but the Mesobarbarus now, you can get a good look at them. They've not had a black cover on for a while. I think I'm in the 30 type region there. They've not acted all that happy for the last week and a half. I've not seen like large amounts in the outworld. But they've not moved into here. They have used the nesting space in there. Let's take that off and have a look. So they store seeds in there, but they don't move brood in there. Not in there. See what I mean? They're not really that happy about that. Anyway, but they're the perfect size. I've decided to move into a Saturn. I couldn't resist it anymore. So I've decided, although I was supposed to be waiting till AntCon, that I've ordered a Saturn. The Saturn I've measured it out, it's going to sit here where that is. I'll disconnect that, put them in the Saturn, then I'll be able to see my Mesobarbarus and what goes on, just like Makushi's set up. I think that's what's convinced me. And I know it'll fit. It's going to stick out 2 centimetres bigger than this, which I can deal with, because it's all about moving these 2 outworlds further this way. 2 centimetres, there is 2 centimetres to move them. So everything's going to move this way a little bit. That'll be fine. So that's a perfectly cleaned out, without boiling water, just with soapy water this time, because I've learnt my lesson. Don't use boiling water or closely boiled water. use soapy water and then wash it out again afterwards. So warm soapy water, not, you know, not too hot. Anyway, that's what I've done. So that's completely cleaned out, set up Venus, because I'm getting not one, not two, but 3 colonies this week. Oh, and here we are. This is my Nikos, the original Nikos, which I think have been a bit slow. And they nearly all died out and everything 2 weeks ago. And we were down to 4 workers. There's a dead worker today, but those workers are all old anyway. I'm not worried about that at all. So that means, I think there was 5. So there might be 4 very healthy workers and 1 dead one, or there might be 3 very healthy workers. But the good news is that the queen has already laid brood. So she's gone from nearly dying, hanging out in the outworld and looking a bit sketchy, to laying eggs within a week. So that's a good sign. But I've already kind of, not written her off, but decided that I watched too many people's Nikos videos, and Anch HQ have had a sale on this weekend. They just got their Nikos in stock. Had a sale on, and I couldn't resist it, so I've bought a 2 queen colony of Nikos, which are going to go in there. So I'm going to have a Nikos race of the new ones, 2 queens, and the old ones, 1 queen who's been a bit slow, but it's the right time of year now. Part of the slowness has been the temperature thing, I'm sure of it. The heat cable has just not got the balls. Then I've had big problems here with my Auroventris. You can't really see much. You can see a lot of springtails, I think. In that left-hand compartment, you can see that little patch of that yellow fungus. Well, in this compartment here, just near that divider, which is centre of the screen right now, there was a huge patch of fungus. My fault. The actual brood is all under that middle section where you can't see them usually. But my fault, I overfed them. I got so many fruit flies. I was chucking loads of fruit flies, and this is their feeding. This is the setup at the moment. They've got that arena. I flooded them with, as you can see, I put maybe 800 or something springtails in there on those 2 bits of charcoal, just to try and sort out the fungus. But yesterday I decided actually I could reach that fungus, so I had that tube off, had a cotton bud in there, scraped it all out, cleaned the glass off as much as I can just in that first compartment to get it out of the way. Yeah, but there's one there. So the Auroventris, is that looking a bit dodgy? It might be. There was one looking a bit dodgy earlier on. I don't know. But the Auroventris basically need ignoring for about 3 months, I think. They've still got brood, they're still developing, but it feels to me like they've had a backward step. They went up to sort of 30 odd workers, and then they look like they're more down to sort of maybe 15 or something. This is looking pretty though. You know, I think this is going to look really nice. Don't know what I'm going to do with this heat cable at the moment. I don't know what I'm going to do with the heat cable in general, to be honest. It's I'm going to buy a heat mat for the back there. Another one of these. This is 7 watt. These long thin ones, which is going to go at the back there for the Saturn. The heat cable's no good for a Saturn. Yeah. Oh, I might be able to. Oh, and I've missed out my. I don't know if we're going to see the brood, because I moved these out to have a good look at the Venuses and sort it all out. And can we see it? Earlier on today I saw there was still brood, as in 1 at least. See, they do that jumping thing, they don't like it when there's lights on them. I think I can just see something under her head right now. So, I don't know yet. These guys, the little tiny ants, see any at the moment? I've seen quite a few of them recently. There's one on the cotton. See how small they are. My mini ants. This is why I don't really like mini ants. Oh, there we are. See them a bit. Okay. I need to do. So I mean, you can't really even see them without macro. It's just. I know people like their small ants, but the small ants where you have, 1,000 at a time, and therefore it's interesting. But when you've got small ants where there's hardly any at a time, boring. Sorry if you like these sort of things, but it's just boring. I got them by accident. I didn't mean to get them. My normal what are they called? Lasius niger. They're okay. The Ruginodus, I don't know if it's me ignoring them, not spending as much time with them. Since I moved them to this location, I can't see them as well. They liked sitting on top of the Singularis, but it meant too much disturbance for the Singularis by leaving them there. And I can't really see any big difference. They weren't heated on top of there, but they just seem... I think it's down to me not watching them as much, not them not being as active. Because they're at room temperature here, 20 odd. Yeah. Had one of my Lasius niger colonies. The queen was dead. I did see her wandering around the outworld even when I did that last video. So I've put both tubes into this one. So you could say it's brood boosting that one. And they have. They've moved it all out into one. So that's probably going to be the one that goes into the natural setup. Anyway, this has gone on way too long. So if you've watched it this far, thank you very much. Should be some more exciting videos coming this week. Tomorrow. At least tomorrow, hopefully. Whenever the ant lady says she posts something, it seems to take forever. But tomorrow, I was expecting to say, tomorrow I should get the Rufoglochus, 50 to 80 workers to go in there. The Formica rufobarbus to go in here. And then within about, well, ants HQ are quick, but maybe 2 days, I should get another Nico colony in there. So thank you for watching, if you managed to make it this far. And fingers crossed. And this week I'll be building a Saturn. That'll be a new setup over there. So loads of different things going on. Should be fun. Bye bye.